Sean, congratulations on your form. You'll be pretty relieved by that performance.
Thanks, Bill Gates.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kane. It was clearly a good day. We'd been probably struggling now for a little period in the last month or so, and we got back to playing the football that we've sort of seen in patches throughout the year, and obviously a huge day as well for... Apologies there, guys.
Oh, it was the internet.
For Majak as well in the football club, so it was great to get the win as well.
Oh, your head's not in it.
That wouldn't be hard, Bill.
We're going to look at the highlights now, and Majak, I thought not only was it a great story, actually played a really important role yesterday, but can we go back to selection? Were you surprised that Ben Brown and Jared Pollock were left out?
Yeah, look, I think Shorey summed it up really well throughout the week that clearly the form of the whole side hadn't been going to plan of late, and those two guys were probably reflective of that as well. And it really just came back to what we need to do in terms of individual roles and playing the role for the team. That was one of the most pleasing things about yesterday. The result took care of itself, and it was obviously a big win, but the way that 22 guys went about it, playing the role that was needed for the team, was the most pleasing aspect of it. And those two guys are crucial in the way that we're going to need to go about it later on in the year, and I'm sure they'll fight their way back into the side. But yesterday showed that if we get 22 guys playing the role, then the result will take care of itself. It's not always going to be on the scoreboard like it was yesterday, but it definitely goes a long way to helping the team win.
Aside from playing, obviously, Adelaide, who haven't won a game yet, you were very good yesterday. What is the main thing that the coach liked that you can take into the next game against Geelong? Because it's a massive game for you guys next week again.
Yeah, it was, and it comes around really quickly. So we're going into a period now of 4 days into 4 days. So obviously played yesterday. We'll back it up again this Wednesday, and then we head to Adelaide to play Melbourne next weekend. So an interesting patch for us, but also really good now that we've created some momentum. Sure, he was really big on the individuals playing their role. I think you mentioned it, Kane, early on, that the way we were able to move the ball was better than what we've been able to see in recent months. And I thought our attack on the football and the pressure, particularly in that first quarter, was through the roof from us. And if we go about it that way, like I mentioned, I keep saying it, it's not always going to be that reflective on the scoreboard, but what it does do, give us an opportunity to be in the contest and make sure we challenge the opposition. So that'll be the focus now in what's going to be a really quick turnaround. We've got to get into recovery today, and before we know it, we're going to be heading down to Brisbane to take on the Cats on Wednesday night.
Sean, we had a discussion off the top of the show about who has been the most influential ruckman in the comp. We spoke about Nat Nui. I reckon Witts has been brilliant. Grundy, Gawn. But your ruckman, Todd Goldstein, isn't being spoken about a lot because of the team he's in, but a lot are saying he has been the most influential ruckman of the year.
Yeah, so his follow-up on the ground level is something that's probably separating him in the discussions to the other ruckmen. I think he's always been a great tap ruckman, and the way that he's able to cover the ground, both defensively and offensively. But his clearance work at the moment, I think he's got the most clearances in the competition. He's internally, it's not going unnoticed because particularly the role I play, I see the first use that he's giving us. And to be honest, I thought he had a great year last year and probably wasn't highlighted as much as it should have been, and he's been able to continue that this year.
Sean, we'll get back to the footy in just a moment. Just want to ask you for a bit of a snapshot about Hub life and in particular the guidelines which have been laid out by the AFL, and I guess everyone is on notice now. I'm not entirely sure if you've got your family up there with you, but how hard is it to actually keep reminding yourself what you can and can't do?
Yeah, I do have my family. I've got my wife and little girl up here with me at the moment, as does a couple of, or a number of our guys, and also support staff and coaches. And some have been from the start, some have just arrived yesterday, and we've got a couple more going through the quarantine period at the moment. So it is clear on what it is. I think it's a 36 to 40 page document of the protocols that we need to live by. Everyone's trying to do the right thing. Clearly there's been a few mishaps along the way, but we'll endeavour to do everything that was in our control moving forward and get the balance of what we can do, but also trying to live a normal life as well.
It's a fair document, isn't it? Like nearly 50 pages that you've got to wade through.
Have you read it?
Yeah. Oh, you know me, Bill. I'm all over it. But it's no. I mean, it is. The club's been great in regards to really making sure that as players and staff and also families, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle to go together to make sure that all this is tracking in the right direction. But clearly the state government up here has done a fantastic job to enable us to play. It also is giving some relief to you guys and all the supporters back home in Victoria who's clearly struggling a bit at the moment. So we've got to make sure we continue to do the right thing by the protocols and also the game and the country to make sure, A, everyone stays healthy, but B, we can continue to put on the show.
What about your dog? You love your dog? You think about flying the dog up?
Dog's back down in Geelong, Bill. I might need you to zip around to Mum and Dad's and just make sure she's getting fed, but they're looking after her at the moment.
I'd be happy to go around and see your dad and your mum. Very good people.
Let's look at the votes. Shaun, because you had a lot of good players and couldn't fit them all in. But Luke McDonald had a career-high 35 possessions. Todd Goldstein, again, was dominant. Jed Anderson was terrific. And Trent Dumont had 9 score involvements. Thought he was important as well yesterday.
Hey, great to catch up with you, Shaun, and best of luck for you, whatever time you've got left there in Hub Life. And look, I've got to say, it is very hard for us sitting back here, sort of watching, the sunshine and the surf and everything. And I know it's not a laugh a minute for you up there, but make the most of it. And let's hope this season can continue and stay on track as it is.
Good on you guys. All the best. Thanks for having me.